Hello again. Today I'm talking about identity. So, the biggest question, second only to what is the meaning of life, is the huge question to which the answer changes everything and determines everything. And that question is, who am I? Or for you, it's who am I, but who are you? So I believe that deep down we know who we are. But often a lifetime of being subjected and surrounded by other people's rubbish, other people's generational rubbish, society's rubbish, situational rubbish can cause us to take on a whole lot of stuff that we might learn or believe to be true about ourselves, which are in fact absolute and complete lies. So I'm going to tell you a story. I remember very early on in my days as a therapist, I sat with a woman who had explained to me she suffered severe anxiety, depression, addictive behaviors, eating disorders, and she was isolating herself. And she explained to me that she was an introvert. So we were looking at her identity. She said, I'm an introvert. And this is the cause of my lifelong struggle. So she told me that we were exploring what is an introvert and what's an extrovert. And she told me extroverts are fun, they're outgoing, they're confident, they're sociable, they're likable, they're the life of the party. And that's not me. And I wish that it was. And if I'd been an extrovert, then my whole life would be different. So we worked through the definition. So we went through the characteristics. I had a white piece of paper. I put a line down the middle. On one side, I wrote extrovert. On the other side, I wrote introvert. And we went through what the characteristics were, and we're going through an extrovert. She said, they're energetic, they get energy from people, they enjoy mixing and interacting with random strangers. They love big groups. They like to be the center of attention. Everyone likes them. They're fun. They've got lots of friends, and they're an open book, and they're just, not so sensitive. They're just happy. Introvert. So we went through the introvert. So they like quiet alone time. They get their energy. They refresh from being alone. They enjoy having interactions with people who they know, and they love small gatherings, and they like to blend in, and they might have a few more close friends rather than big loads of acquaintances, and they keep their personal life a bit more private, and they're a bit more sensitive. So we were talking about the many different introverts that she knew. So I said, so who do you know that's an introvert? Surely you must have family or friends and that you love and value, and how wonderful is it to have those close connections with people who are more introverted, and that it might, it's like that quiet rivers run deep, and that, empty vessels make the most noise. We kind of talked about the different perceptions of introverts and extroverts, and she said, I said to her that while extroverts are often the life of the party, they might be missing out on some of the quiet depths that introverts experience. So she agreed with all that, and that was fine. And then she said to me, yes, but, which of course that's how we respond to things that don't resonate. So this is a deep-seated belief. It's not going to go away with just a quick conversation on how great introverts are. And so she said, what about the rest of the stuff about being introverted? And I said, so what? Tell me about this stuff. And I poised my pen over the page, and I said, just tell me everything. And I just scribbled in silence, and I kept saying, what else? What else? And she said, loneliness and disconnection and isolation and worthlessness and shame and being left out and shy and worried and having low self-esteem and feeling bad, feeling like you're wrong or you're stupid or you're not good enough, or questioning everything you say. And she just kept going and going and going. And I kept saying, what else? And I thought surely there couldn't be more, but it just kept coming and coming. And there was so much pouring out. And when she had finished, I said to her, I had a look at what I'd written down, and I said to her, do you know what? Everything you've just said is a feeling. They are not character traits, and they're not limited to people who are introverted. An extrovert can feel all these things too. An extrovert can feel sad or lonely or left out or ashamed or worried or bad. And an extrovert can also have low self-esteem and feel stupid. These are feelings, they're not who you are. Those things are something you are experiencing, and we all can experience these things. Introverts, extroverts, every person in the world can feel the full range of feelings. And she sat in silence and processed this, but in her mind, she had created this identity for herself of not being good enough because she was naturally introverted. And the reason I told you this story is that you can see that we can create these complete lies within our mind, within ourselves, and believe that they're true. And then we base everything on this internal truth. And it's not a universal truth. It's just an internal truth that we've created from the information that we've had available. Now, this girl had a very confident, extroverted older sister. So her childhood was about comparing to her older sister. And you see this quite frequently. Well, I see this quite frequently. So she believes that she was somehow flawed, somehow not enough, somehow less valuable or less worthy in some ways than other people. And that's just not true. It's not true for her, and it's certainly not true for you. So this is just one example, but our identity is such a huge part of our anxiety, our depression, because who you believe you are is so important, and knowing the truth of who you are, because who you are is good. So I asked this woman, what would my life be like if I believed everything that you believed? And after she paused and thought about it, she said, it would be just like mine, I suppose. So the truth is, what you believe to be true will be true for you. So I'd like you to ask yourself, who do I think I am? Who am I? And see if you can dig in a bit and discover if there's any lies that you've been believing. So the trick here is, if what you're coming up with is not good, if in some way you don't feel good, then that's a lie, because you were born good and you were created good, and everything that you think about yourself that's not good is a learned thing, and it isn't really about you at all. It's just a lie that you've been led to believe that you really can stop believing. And you've been led to believe these things by other people, situations, circumstances outside of you, and they are not true. I hope you're enjoying the series, and I will talk to you soon.